Alright, so we're diving straight into the match here, and it looks like it's going to be an aggro shaman versus... Hold on, let's just boot up the cards here.
It's aggro shaman versus mid-range paladin. Yeah. Yeah, Terror will be playing the mid-range paladin in this game, and Krax is playing the aggro shaman.
Oh, it looks like it's going to be secret paladin, actually.
Mid-range secret paladin.
Mid-range secret paladin. A mid-range paladin
It's not aggro.
Yeah.
He crushed me with it every time we played.
Yeah. It's just like typically mid-range and secret paladin like their own distinct archetypes, because mid-range paladin just runs like they try to outvalue them with just a card Rider. Fell a lot of favor in when TGD came out and Mysterious Challenger got released. It's just mid-range paladin, I feel like, is just like a weaker version of secret paladin. Yeah.
What would you do turn 2 with locked mana crystal?
Yeah, so this is actually kind of awkward from Justin's side, or Kraxximus' side. I really don't like the coin totem, because when you're on the coin as the aggro shaman, you typically want to save the coin on turn 4 to coin out the Doomhammer, especially since he has it in his hand. Coining the totem here is not really going to be relevant. It's just going to die to the hero power and the Light's Justice, and the rest of his hand is just as awkward as before.
Setting himself up for a lightning storm, but he doesn't draw it.
That's a really good top deck, though. Flame Juggler will most likely kill one of the recruits here. And it does, and he's going to play a Tempo Abusive Sergeant.
Sorry about the technical difficulties, guys. We're just setting up the hand from the other side. So yeah, well, I play a lot of Secret Paladin, or at least I did on the ladder, and the reason why I would call it like mid-range Secret Paladin is because there is an aggro variant of Secret Paladin that's popular on the ladder that doesn't typically run anything past the 6 mana slot. So
I'd actually say that archetype is completely fell out of favor. Like, the mid-range version is just so much more powerful that everyone chooses to run the mid-range version instead. So we just call Secret Paladin, that mid-range Secret Paladin, just call it Secret Paladin. We use the mid-range arc. Wow, so that's a quick concede from Justin.
Yeah.
Didn't expect that. Wow. Wow.
There's not much coming back from that.
Yeah,
was that intentional?
I think it's just because he missed. He rolled the 3 on the crackle, so I guess he was just too demoralized to want to continue with the game.
Well,
I mean, I understand it, but what I really don't understand is the coin totem on turn.
Yeah.
On turn 2.
Yeah, it was really. I would have just ended my turn and just cut my losses right there.
I feel like if he had the coin Doomhammer on turn 4, he could have easily eventually damaged him, to the point. Sorry.
We're unmuted, right?
No, we're not muted. Are we muted?
I can't tell.
Here, we can ask Matt.
Well, it's very interesting.
Go to break. All right, we're just gonna go to a quick break.
Losing so much. But from you, I have learned patience, tolerance, and faith. Open fire!
All right, we're jumping back into the second match here.
All right, this is a Druid mirror matchup. Between these two gentlemen, who do you think has the stronger Druid deck?
I've actually scrimmed plenty with both of these players, and I think they're both extremely proficient with Druid. Druid is a relatively one-dimensional deck, and I'd say in the mirror, it's just pretty much a toss-up. Like, it's whoever draws ramp, and a lot of casters actually like to jokingly say, well, whoever has Wild Growth or Innervate is the better Druid. And here we see RealTerror has the Innervate, but doesn't really have any good follow-ups to it. typically with the innervate, you want to innervate something out like a Shredder. A Keeper of the Grove is not too useful in the mirror. It's only useful, you don't want to play it proactively, and it doesn't look like either of these players has a proactive play, but the Wild Growth draw from RealTerror looks extremely promising.
Yeah, we can get the ramp game starting pretty quickly here, which can escalate situations pretty badly for Krax.
Yeah, so Dwayne actually has a lot of options here. Oh, so he goes quickly for the living roots. I'm not sure about that. I think he could have easily done Coin Wild Growth and an Innervate Druid of the Claw, which is equally a reasonable play, because this actually gives something to Kraxximus to do this turn, which is he would have otherwise hero powered the face. Now he gets a hero power down to 1/1. But Dwayne is just going to go ahead and play the Wild Growth here on turn 2.
Well, he played the living roots last turn, right?
Yeah.
I think it's okay to just play it even into the hero power. I mean, you're going second, and you're at 1 mana. You might as well spend your mana proactively.
Yeah, the thing with it is, I guess his curve is still pretty smooth. Okay, with a second 5-drop draw, it's actually pretty nice. He gets to coin a 5-drop into a 5-drop, which is most likely he's going to start with the Druid of the Claw, because it has a higher combat.
Yeah,
higher combat stats.
I would play Druid of the Claw over
In
as a
taunt
Drake.
mode.
He doesn't. One, doesn't need to draw right now, and two, he doesn't need to follow it up with the swipe for the extra damage.
Yeah. So definitely just do the coin and Druid of the Claw and just pass it back over to Krax.
Which is exactly what he does.
Yep, as expected. Yeah, so
What do you think about the changes to Standard and how that will affect the Druid matchup as it is right now?
So I'd actually say, like, we don't actually have enough information until Blizzard releases the patch notes and because they've already stated that they've openly stated that they're intending to nerf Druid, and I expect them to do it in the form of a Savage Roar or Force of Nature nerf. And it looks like Justin's pretty sad right now because he has no ramp and he just drew all of his high cost minions. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to do anything. While RealTerror has a complete perfect curve with the Living Roots on turn 1, Wild Growth on turn 2 into a coin 5-drop and another 5-drop. And Kraxximus is finally going to be able to actually play something as he draws the Druid of the Claw off the top, but he's going to be pretty disappointed since RealTerror's hand right now is actually quite reactive, so he'll be able to probably just swipe it and then ride the tempo wave. But he's going to actually choose to do the Keeper instead off of curve. I actually sort of like this a little bit better, but yeah.
Yeah, it essentially makes swipe not
As punishing.
Yeah, as punishing of a move and almost of a waste, because there's no big taunt there that you want to throw your big swipe on. It's kind of interesting because that's just really the thing with Druid. It's the luck of the draw most of the time.
Yeah, especially in the Druid mirror, it's really a toss-up, and it looks like Kraxximus is actually still in a really poor spot. He's just so behind on board, and if he chooses to play a minion here, RealTerror is just going to answer with removal and a spell power removal at that. And the spell power removal is just going to allow him to ride the tempo wave for another 8 damage to face.
This swipe is going to be pretty brutal on this turn.
Yeah, so he can actually fully... Oh, man, that's a second Azure Drake draw. He can do a 6 damage swipe, actually.
I feel like that's overkill, though.
Yeah, it is overkill, yeah.
Plus, he would have to innervate to cast both of them.
Yeah.
I think he's going to swipe here and then use the Keeper of the Grove to finish off the other Keeper. But that's my prediction.
I like that, but I think from RealTerror's end, he could actually push the board a little bit more, because if he manages to play the Azure Drake this turn, there's really nothing that Kraxximus can do at this point. If he has 3 minions on the board, he can... if Justin has it, he'll be forced to use combo to completely clear the board. Okay, he's gonna just do your proposed play of the swipe innervate Keeper and clear the entire board. Yeah, both plays are equally valid. I'd say at this point, RealTerror has already won the game.
Yeah, it's pretty much over, so at that point you just push the board as much as you can.
Yeah.
Make him think you have Savage Roar. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Krax just concedes right now. I mean, he's making a habit of doing that, so...
Well, there's nothing really much he can do at this point. I mean, I guess he could draw Innervate Deathwing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on, Deathwing.
Alright, so he's gonna keep playing. He's gonna use the lore to heal, and he's gonna Wild Growth.
I spurred him on with my I don't want him to have a habit of conceding quickly.
Well, RealTerror is gonna have lethal here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
So
game.
that was a pretty one-sided game, and that was mostly just due to draws.
Oh, this is 2 wins and 0 losses for Terror over Krax right now, and yeah, there's only one more deck remaining of Terror to go, and I believe his warrior was banned out.
Yeah.
So
I'm actually not sure about the bans. I didn't get any
we
information
got
about the bans.
that means his warlock's the last remaining deck, I would imagine. If not, then it is going to be Patron Warrior coming out of.
If the indeed the Patron Warrior is banned, then we're gonna see the Arena Lock. Most likely, Kraxximus is gonna choose to re-queue the Druid, as Druid has a really good matchup against Arena Lock.
Yeah, Druid's one of those things where you just want a good starting opening hand. So
So it looks like we're just gonna dive into the last game here, and
it might not be the last game.
yeah, it's just judging from the RNG pattern so far.
All right, so we got another Secret Paladin up against Reno Lock. Do you?
So I'm actually surprised that Kraxximus chose to queue the Secret Paladin to an expected Reno Lock, unless he was expecting Zoo. Because the Druid matchup is typically a lot stronger, especially if you know that your opponent's going to be playing Reno Lock. I'd say at this point in the tournament, that most likely Kraxximus is going to have scouted out RealTerror's decks, and if he has scouted out his RealTerror's decks, then I'd expect him to play queue the Druid into the Reno Lock, but apparently he doesn't. But, yeah.
Well, in my opinion, the Reno Lock does. It's about a 50-50 matchup against Secret Paladin.
I'd actually say it's a little bit favored, because if the Arena Lock ever draws into any AoE removal, it's really difficult for the Secret Paladin to get anything to stick to the board.
Well, we'll have to see if it's the type of Secret Paladin that runs Tyrion. It probably is.
Yeah, it's most likely that version.
I mean, I wouldn't imagine a tournament deck
Running an aggro Secret Paladin.
running an aggro Secret Paladin. I almost did. But then again, I also got knocked out in the quarterfinals, so...
I'd say if you're bringing in an aggro paladin, you might as well just go full aggro and just dish the secrets. The secrets just make the deck a lot.
Well, at that
less
point, you might as well
consistent,
run aggro shaman, which has been working
Yeah,
for a lot
yeah.
of people at this tournament.
Yeah.
I lost to every aggro shaman that I faced today.
Oh, against an aggro shaman that I faced today, I actually dark bomb my own face. I tried to coin dark bomb a.
That's your turn. That's your
Yeah,
turn
the
one.
turn one play, coin dark bomb my own face.
You can get
was
that molten
pretty
giant
brutal.
just a little bit quicker.
Yeah. Alright, so looking from Kraxximus' side, I really like the coin kings to clear the 3-3. And that's exactly what he's going to do. And he's going to actually choose to put it on the 1-2. Oh, okay, he's going to put it on the Secret Keeper, which I like. Because he doesn't want to commit all of his resources under the Haunted Creeper and just get it silenced. So this is definitely the more optimal play. And he can just follow it up with the Shredder next turn.
And yes, it makes a lot of sense because he has a turn 4, turn 5, and a turn 6. Normally, I would keep my coin for the Mysterious Challenger just so I don't keep drawing my secrets. Because a secret in hand and a Secret Paladin is actually detrimental to the deck. Except when you have Secret Keeper on the field, then it's not detrimental at all.
I'd say though in this situation, coining out the 4 is definitely much better in terms of smoothing out his curve. Because what you want to do with the coin is not necessarily try to coin out your most powerful minion on just coin out your most powerful minion. In the case of Shaman, you want to coin out the Doomhammer, and in the case of Secret Paladin, you want to coin out the Mysterious Challenger. But typically when you're playing Secret Paladin, you just want to saturate your mana crystals as much as possible every single turn, and coining out the kings does just that while clearing the Earthly Ring Farseer that was played by RealTerror.
Well, yeah, you want to set up that board that is ready to go for turn 6 Mysterious Challenger, so then your opponent has a real hard time getting rid of it, and then Competitive Spirit comes out. You can pretty much just win the game off that most of the time.
Definitely. Kraxximus with the good Shredder positioning, putting it in the middle just in case it drops Flame Tongue Totem or Direwolf Alpha. And he's just going to continue playing minions on curve.
We could see another Doomsayer.
Yeah, but unfortunately... Oh, yeah, Doomsayer from the Shredder. I thought you said... I thought you were referring to RealTerror playing Doomsayer.
No.
Yeah. I actually played against a Reno Lock today who was running Doomsayer, and I don't like it as much as I do in Freeze Mage because you can't combo it with anything. You're just playing... I guess you're just using it to secure an empty board, but...
Yeah. And it's
definitely a tech choice.
It's quite interesting with seeing a lot of MC Tech this evening, and It's interesting to see Leroy Jenkins in RealTerror's deck. That's not something that you typically do see.
Yeah, it's part of the Leroy Power Roaming Faceless combo. So it looks like Kraxximus is just going to drop the Challenger on curve. I really like, talking about RealTerror's plays last turn, I really liked it. He had a 50-50 of getting a really good minion. Unfortunately, he only got the 1-1. From Kraxximus' side, I would just get the good trades out. I would run the 1-2 into the 1-1 and get as many minions as you can on board. When you get as many minions as you can on the board, typically when you want to play Mysterious Challenger, you want to get as many minions on the board so you have another target for Avenge to land on. So when the Avenge doesn't land on the 6-6, it is invulnerable to Big Game Hunter.
Man, I wonder what Terror must be thinking. He must be going, man, I wish I had a coin and a Twisting Nether.
Yeah, looking at Kraxximus' entire game so far, every single turn he's played one of the most powerful on-curve plays that he could have done. He did turn 1 Secret Keeper, turn 2 Haunted Creeper, turn 3 Coin, Kings into Shredder, into Belcher, into Challenger, and now he just top decked the Dr. Boom. So I don't know if RealTerror is Reno Lock, even despite me earlier referring the matchup as slightly favored for the Reno Lock. I think this curve is just going to be a little bit too much for RealTerror to handle.
That's the thing. Once you get a good starting hand and you get the turn-by-turn just powerful cards in Paladin that honestly make the class feel a little imbalanced. I mean, they have one of the most powerful 1-drops right now in Secret Keeper. They have one of the most powerful 2-drops in Shielded Minibot, the best 3-drop in the game with Muster for Battle. Then you got that piloted Shredder. The turn 5 slot's a little iffy sometimes. Some people run the Quartermaster, some people run whatever.
Alright, so RealTerror is going to choose to leave the 9-3 on board. We're just going to be buffed by the Competitive Spirit to a 10-4.
Yeah.
And I actually sort of like that because there was really no other option that he really had. He didn't have the BGH, and he can't... Owling doesn't really do much. It saves 4 health. But if you're playing Reno Lock anyways, you might as well just hold it. You get the extra health from Reno, which he doesn't have in his hand, however, but it was just too awkward for him. There was really no point for him to owl.
Well, even owling right now would just turn it back into a 6-6.
Yeah.
So it'd actually be harder to remove the minion.
Yeah.
Well, turn 6 into turn 7.
Doctor 6 into Doctor 7.
This is feeling like ranked ladder strangely similar right now.
I feel like this is karma for how well RealTerror drew in the Druid versus Druid matchup last game.
Absolutely.
This is what I call the fire bat curve, where you saturate your mana crystals with the most powerful minion and the most powerful spell on each turn as playing a Secret Paladin. So judging by this trend, he's most likely going to top deck Tyrion Fordring on the next turn.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Just completely steal the game.
I mean, he's skill drawing right now.
Yeah.
So.
Assuming RealTerror doesn't just concede now.
If Tyrion doesn't come out, I'll be surprised.
Yeah. So I don't really think RealTerror has any options here. Looking at his hand, he can play Belcher. He can't remove both the fatties in one turn. He definitely can't. He doesn't have any AoE left, so he's gonna just choose to siphon the 7/7, and I'm not sure what that's even gonna do. I guess he's gonna also owl the 10-4 to reduce 4 damage. He's gonna turn it back into 6-4, and he's gonna go face and proc the Noble Sack.
It is his best chance of surviving. That's the thing about Reno Lock. If you don't draw Reno, yeah.
Unfortunately, Kraxximus is just going to... Oh, the extended BM, not killing him with the True Silver. Alright, so now he's just going to equip the True Silver and go ahead and finish him off. So, is this the beginning of the comeback from Kraxximus?
It'll be interesting. It is 2-1 for RealTerror over Kraxximus, so...
Yeah, it looks like his RNG is starting to turn around with that curve as Secret Paladin. Unfortunately, he did not top deck the Tyrion off the top. It would have been really satisfying for him to just get the complete full curve as the Secret Paladin. Just to match up with the RNG that RealTerror received in the Druid versus Druid mirror. So, I definitely like the Druid pick here. I think he should have queued it last game actually, but he might as well just queue it now. I'm actually not sure what his last class is. Do you know? Do you know what for Kraxximus' last class is?
No, I didn't actually play against him.
Okay. So looking at both of these hands here, the Druid hand is actually looking pretty decent with the Darnassus Aspirin. However, RealTerror has a full early game curve, and Darnassus Aspirant this is why I don't like Darnassus Aspirant. It's just one of those minions that are so inconsistent. It's only good against Secret Paladin when they don't have initiative. And in this situation, RealTerror is just going to go ahead and abusive his Zombie Chow too. Or, yeah, he's going to go ahead, play the Dark Peddler first to see what he draws. And, wow, those are all premium 1-drops, premium Warlock 1-drops, but I think he's just going to go ahead and coin out the abusive to kill the Darnassus Aspirant. And Kraxximus is going to be pretty sad here.
Yeah. Well, like you were saying, Darnassus Ass Pirate bites the dust.
Yeah, that's exactly why I don't like Darnassus. I'd rather just play nothing at this point because you gave him the ability to trade into a minion. Against Reno Lock, you typically just wanted to... well, usually Reno Locks don't draw that insanely of a curve with a 1-2-3 drop and being able to contest your early minions. And he's just going to drop the Farseer on curve here.
Yeah, this is perfect board setup, really, to just start dealing with any threat that comes out the Druid early.
Typically, the Druid is actually very favored in the Druid versus Reno Lock matchup, but given that he drew the Darnassus Aspirant instead of the Wild Growth, or him having that only source of ramp being really weak to a board-centric opener from RealTerror, he's going to have a lot of problems here.
Well, in a conversation today, RealTerror was telling me he doesn't include Darnassus
Ass Pirate.
Yeah, well, I tried to stop myself, but it's just ingrained. Anyways, but he doesn't include that card in his deck for that very reason.
Oh man, that's a huge misplay, putting his Shredder on the right instead of the middle. Let's see if he gets punished here, if it drops Flametone Totem or Direwolf Alpha. But I don't think it really matter, given RealTerror's hand. I'd actually like to do a more aggressive line of play. Since he already has the Leroy Power Overwhelming, he's going to try to reduce Kraxximus' health and try to burst him down as soon as possible.
Yeah. He's got to go for that win about as fast as possible. Hopefully before the Warlock can even draw Reno.
Yeah.
The worst case scenario is he would get him down to about the combo range, and then he plays Reno.
Yeah. The thing with Leroy Power Overwhelming, it's a lot more clunky than Arcane Golem Power Overwhelming, and those two cards independently are not very strong aside from finishing off your opponent, so he's gonna want to just finish off the game as soon as possible. So he's gonna go ahead and use the Dart Bomb here. I like it. Since he has a lot of reactive cards or combo pieces in his hand, he wants to preserve as much of the board as possible, and trading away the Shredder would leave him with a much weaker board, so I like this play a lot more. And this is a pretty easy Shredder Hero Power play from Kraxximus' side. Followed him at turn 7, Dr. Boom.
Yep, that Dr. Balance.
But it looks like RealTerror's hand is starting to get a little bit awkward. He doesn't have really any proactive plays after playing the 1-2-3 on curve. So he's going to just go ahead and owl the Shredder, and most likely... I would actually argue against trading here as the Warlock, since he does have the Leroy Power Roaming, or at least I would consider not trading, since he does really need to push face damage at the moment.
Yep. And I mean, there's no incentive after you silence it, if you silence it, to kill the pilot or Shredder. You're just setting your board up with a random minion. It could be anything. I
guess there's a little bit of incentive, and the incentive is in the fact that he can kill the owl for free with the Shredder. I actually don't really like this play coming from RealTerror's side. I guess he's a little bit paranoid of combo, which is understandable.
Yeah, one way to beat Druid is beat him before turn 9. So.
Exactly. So it looks like they got pretty even Shredder drops here, which is always nice to see, that one player doesn't get ridiculously higher RNG in the Shredder department.
No Doomsayers yet.
Yeah, no Doomsayers.
What's up with that? Where is that guy?
I actually haven't seen Doomsayer. I saw a Captain's Parrot on my end today, though.
There was a clutch Doomsayer in one of the games today, but the guy who had the fortune of that Doomsayer coming out and destroying the entire Dragon Priest board, he ended up losing.
Yeah, that's extremely understandable and expected. So from RealTerror, from a Kraxximus side, would you be playing around the combo, or would you just go ahead and trade the Dr. Boom? And you would probably trade the way 3-2 to play around Mind Control tech, and I guess you're playing around the combo in the process.
I mean,
yeah.
One thing you could do is heal, or you could force the nature and try to clear, but both those options aren't really good. I think Dr. Boom is really the only play.
Yeah, not much analysis here. Oh, for some reason I thought the Bloodfen Raptor could actually attack. That was an oversight on my part.
There's the hero of legend. He's the hero. He's the hero we deserved, and the hero we needed.
Unfortunately, is not going to be healing for much right now. Yeah.
Hey man, Reno Jackson is so classy. He'll heal you for 4 health and then some.
Yeah, this is kind of RealTerror is actually really close to killing off Kraxximus, but he doesn't quite have it. And he doesn't actually have any responses to the... Oh, there, a big game hunter off the top with the tap. What a draw. What an amazing draw. Wow, that completely changes the dynamic of the game.
Yeah, well, RealTerror has the beast in his sights, so...
Wow, that is really disgusting.
That's kind of just the way the game works, though. You play Dr. Burn turn 7 in the Warlock top decks big game hunter, right?
I wonder if Justin, yeah, judging from his facial expressions, it kind of looks like he noticed that it was off the top, which makes it hurt just a little bit more.
No, he's excited. He's just really happy to be in the semifinals right now.
So he's going to need his Boom Boss to do a lot of work here. He's just going to go ahead and die next turn. So, wow, the top deck Innervate was actually almost lethal if he drew it. It was 3 plus... If he top decked the Innervate, he would have had 14 plus 5 plus 3 would be 21, 23. Oh, he's 1 damage. He was 1 damage off lethal. He top decked the Innervate. So, in terms of lines of play here, what do you like from Kraxximus' side?
Well, there's this little gear in the right-hand side where you can select the concede button. That's a pretty good play.
Oh, you have so little faith in Kraxximus here. I believe in the comebacks.
You know, here's the thing, though.
Here's
the thing. RealTerror brought his own computer to this event, and I don't mean his laptop. I don't mean his tablet. He brought his desktop computer.
So it actually looks like Kraxximus is going to hold on for another turn, because RealTerror does not have lethal, and he won't be able to top deck Abusive to finish him off, since he's already used it in the beginning of the game. It actually looks pretty favored from Kraxximus' side at the moment. It just feels so bad from RealTerror's end to be so close to lethal, but not quite having it.
Yeah, he's dangerously close, though. If he could get an Abusive Sergeant, that would just push him over the edge.
I think
But he wouldn't have enough mana for that, so...
In terms of options from RealTerror's side, I actually like playing the Demon Wrath into the Belcher. That just is the most safe play, and it sets up for a Reno in the following turns. And it completely blocks Force of Nature Savage Roar, which is perfect. And it also sets up for lethal on his end, too. It's actually really awkward for Kraxximus to deal with. In fact, if he doesn't find a way to deal with this, or if he doesn't heal the lore, he's just going to die. And I don't think Kraxximus is going to be expecting the Leroy power overwhelming.
Well, he has to figure out what he's trying to do this turn right now, because this is the game right here. I don't think there is a play other than using the combo now to clear, but even then, it's putting a lot of faith that RealTerror doesn't top deck an Abusive Sergeant and just end it.
He's already used Abusive Sergeant. However, I think Kraxximus doesn't even have the combo in mind, because RealTerror's only drawn through half of his deck, and unless Kraxximus has done some scouting into RealTerror's decks, I don't think he will be playing around the combo so early. And I don't think he can afford to with his hand.
Well, I wouldn't imagine that Krax would think it's any less than some form of the combo.
Yeah, so let's see if he chooses to draw cards. Okay, so he chooses to heal, so that's a really heads-up play right there. Just completely plays around the combo, so I think the only out that RealTerror has, is the Dark Bomb, and he doesn't draw it. So at the moment, he is 4 damage off lethal. So the Dark Bomb wasn't even enough.
No, yeah.
However, I think Kraxximus' playoff dreams are slowly fading away, since he does have a taunt and he already has the Reno, and he has a lot of AOE to back it up.
Well, the Dark Bomb would have been lethal, but he probably would have hero powered if he didn't heal right there. So
no, I don't think the Dark Bomb was lethal, because of Leroy power bombing is 10, and then the Belcher's 3 and the Dark Bomb's 2, right? So that's 16.
Yes, but he was at 12.
Right. Yeah. No, I meant I mean talking about this turn after Kraxximus chose to use the lore to heal himself.
Yeah.
And I mean the dark bomb top deck when remembered. I really like the Bran heal bot here actually. It functions similar to Reno, and he doesn't actually even need to use the Reno. It's really strong.
Yeah. It's a little bit more mana though.
Yeah.
But what else are you gonna play?
So for my position, I actually like the hitting face option of from RealTerror side, and he just goes ahead and does that. So really, the only thing he should be scared of at this point is Force Nature Savage or Innervate Savage, which I believe is lethal. However, he doesn't have it in his hand, as we can see, and I think Kraxximus is gonna have to choose to either heal his face again or potentially draw into a removal spell.
I think healing's really the only option he has at this point.
Yeah. He also does have the option of drawing cards, then using Savage Roar to clear off the entire board, since he can actually clear the entire board with and afford to draw cards with the Savage Roar. However, that leaves him without a Savage Roar.
Yeah, that's kind of removing
I sort of actually like that line of
your
play,
win
though.
condition just a little bit.
The thing is, if you're cycling into more resources. If you're cycling more resources, you're more likely to survive. That includes taunts, as we know, we've seen from previous games. Kraxximus has included an Ancient of War in his list. Ancient of War will just completely put a dent. So it doesn't look like he's going to choose to do the Savage Roar play. He's just going to go ahead and play the. I believe he's going to play the Ancient of War for a heal. I actually don't really like this, since it just really delays the game for like just another turn, and he's going to find himself in the exact same position as he did last game.
Yeah, I mean, Kraxximus is in a tough spot because he's going to need to somehow play Emperor to discount the double Savage Roar, and he has to draw the other Savage Roar. Yeah, it's rough shape.
It is a safe play, though, and from this position, it looks like RealTerror is mostly just going to go ahead with the Twisting Nether and just get the Shade off the board. He also gets a 5/5 and a 5/2. It's pretty good value. He'll also be able to push 5 damage and develop the Ooze on the same turn. I would be surprised if he just goes with another line of play. He chooses to tap, maybe he'll attack and Twisting Nether off the back of it.
He's going to
and not
attack and
develop
Twisting
Ooze.
Nether, for sure.
I would have liked to see him playing the Ooze and develop the, like, saving the 2 mana instead of life tapping and Twisting Nethering and then developing the Ooze on the empty board.
Alright, well, I think it's the Nether.
Yeah, it's definitely the Nether.
But he's going to attack first.
Yeah, he's definitely going to attack first.
This is my favorite map, by the way. There's the laser that shoots the rocket ship.
The GVG map.
You can play with the. You think it's standard that they're gonna nerf this map and just take away some of the clickable areas?
Hopefully not. So yeah, he's gonna go with the Twisting Nether. I'd say if he was gonna go with that line of play, developing the Ooze was a lot stronger than the life tap. Well, that's actually a pretty decent draw off the top. He'll be able to cycle into another minion and play Emperor off the back of it.
Well, yes, he did have the option of nethering, then playing Ooze, but I mean, there's not really any weapons that are coming out of Druid. Unless we know Blingtron in this deck.
Yeah, which is why we do want to see the Ooze develop just as a body to help contest this Ember that was just played by Kraxximus. And every single turn, it looks like RealTerror and his lethal ambitions are slowly getting out of range.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Like, you were knocking the healing every turn, but it's keeping him alive. But I still think it's just a band-aid.
Yeah.
He can silence Emperor here with Owl. He can play his own Emperor and Owl. That's also really strong. Not really, though, because then he would just lose his Emperor.
Yeah. The thing with this situation is, if at any point Kraxximus draws the Savage Roar off the top, he'll be able to play Force of Nature Savage Roar without the Innervate. And that's actually really, really strong. Since he just dropping the Shade off the back of that, we'll be able to kill RealTerror from pretty much any life total.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much all of his removal is gone except for Hellfire and Shadow Flame. So
yeah, and
getting rid of a Stealth Shade is going to be difficult.
He doesn't actually have any of those in his hand right now, so yeah, the Stealth Shade is going to prove to be a huge nuisance if he does end up top decking the Savage Roar. So what do you like in terms of RealTerror's options as the rope starts coming down?
Reno Jackson. He's not going to play it, but
everything's extremely awkward.
I always love Reno Jackson. It's the wrong play, but Reno Jackson.
I really don't agree with the tap here. I like playing I like developing as many minions as possible. He does get in the tap, I guess. It's a little bit greedy, but what can you do, right?
Well, he opens himself up for some interesting combos if he can get the Faceless Manipulator out there, so...
The Wild Growth is an interesting draw. He'll just probably use it to cycle into something else.
Oh, definitely gonna cycle here.
I think what he wants to pick up here, other than the second Savage Row, would be another Keeper of the Grove or perhaps even a Swipe to help just remove the board. That is also really relevant. You can use the Wrath to pick off the 3-2 without taking any damage, or I would actually, from Kraxximus' position, who actually greed it up a little bit and Wrath for 1 under the 3-2, since he really desperately needs to draw the second Savage Roar before the games are swinging into the opposite momentum, since he is behind in terms of card advantage.
Yeah.
And the most RealTerror can do is either, in terms of bench damage benchmarks, yeah, so he is going to choose to, he's going to end up drawing the card. In terms of damage benchmarks, RealTerror either has 10 damage or he has 20 damage. So, playing for, oh wait, that is interesting. He doesn't choose to end up hero powering the 3-1. That is odd. So he is going to trade to the Emperor, though. But that's kind of weird that he didn't hero power instead just develop the Shade.
Yeah, unlucky too, because he still has not got the second Savage Roar.
Yeah. And RealTerror is just 2 health down from just straight up dying to He's actually going to tap into
the top,
range.
Right. Jiraxxus comes out.
I actually don't like that, unless he chooses to either Siphon or Reno this turn. That leaves him in a range of double combo. Exactly, double combo. And if RealTerror has been paying attention to his cards, okay, so he's going to end up doing the Siphon Soul, which is a pretty on-point play since it completely negates any possibility of RealTerror, of Kraxximus pulling out a surprise victory with the Force of Nature Savage Roar off the top.
Absolutely. There's the other Innovate, but
it's a pretty dead card right now, I say.
Yeah.
I think
Shredder Shade.
Unfortunately, I think Kraxximus is gonna just end up dying here, since there's no way he's gonna combo to remove these minions. And if he doesn't combo and since we know RealTerror's hand, if he doesn't combo to remove these minions, he's gonna be done.
Well, Kraxximus doesn't know his hand, so it really is the only play that, it's the only play that I would see.
It's the correct play, even though it's the one that's going to end up resulting him in dying. And here we're going to see the Leroy and PO to finish off.
All right, let's do this.
So this is that was a pretty weird series, I'd say, where Reno Lock was able to steal a lot of, just do really well against Kraxximus' lineup despite the expected matchups.
Yeah, RealTerror takes it 3-1 in these semifinals.
So we're gonna start preparing for the final match here. So we're just gonna cut to a short break.